Chapter 4 Some Paper Stuff. This is what the local paper, the Kitchener-Waterloo Record, wrote when I failed to negotiate that turn. Dated December 9th, 1989. 1 dead, 3 injured in crash. By Greg Crone, record staff. 1 person is dead and 3 others are seriously injured after a car went out of control and crashed into a small truck in Kitchener early this morning. The accident occurred about 1:45 in front of Eastwood Collegiate on Weaver Street, East in Kitchener. No names have been released pending notification of next of kin. Police said one of the accident victims died this morning at Kitchener-Waterloo Hospital. 2 others are being treated locally, and a 3rd has been transferred to a hospital in Toronto. Firemen had to cut off the roof of the car to pull out the driver and 2 passengers. "It's a terrible thing," witness Debbie Kynes said in an interview at the scene. "Terrible, terrible, terrible." Kynes of Elkington Drive in Kitchener and her husband Robert were warming their car in a nearby parking lot when they saw the crash. The car was eastbound on Weaver Street, and as it came over a rise in the road in front of the high school, it lost control and swung into the path of a small truck, she said. "The little truck had no chance," she added. Robert Kynes said he ran to the vehicle. "I opened up the truck, but I couldn't get them out of the car." He said the driver of the truck was alert, but the car's 3 occupants were unconscious. "It's a terrible thing to happen." A police cruiser that had been following the car was at the scene in seconds. An officer had spotted the car driving quickly along Weaver Street East, turned her cruiser around to follow, police said. However, by the time she reached the car, the accident had occurred. Robert Kynes praised the ambulance workers and firemen. The response of the ambulance and the fire department was fantastic. A police officer was later seen leaving the scene with a pair of running shoes and the gas pedal and clutch pedal from the car. Weaver Street East, between Jackson Avenue and Montgomery Road, near the Conestoga Parkway, was closed until about 8 a.m. The accident is being investigated, but a police supervisor said this morning that the road was dry. Road conditions wouldn't have played a big factor. What could I possibly give my family to make up for what I did to them? Easy. Nothing could ever repay them. My parents were told for a couple weeks after that tragic night that I was history. I'm sure they were told with a bit more etiquette, but the point was the same. My older brother stayed for hours beside me, talking to me when I was in my coma. And my younger brother took care of the press. I give him an A+. Man killed in crash called one of a kind. This is out of the Kitchener-Waterloo Record on the following Monday, the 11th. A 21-year-old Hamilton man who died in a 2-vehicle crash in Kitchener Saturday was full of energy, says a friend whose brother was badly hurt in the crash and is clinging to life in hospital. Jason Sims of Hamilton was killed, and 3 other young men remain in a hospital with serious injuries after a car sped out of control and smashed into a small truck about 1:45 a.m. Saturday in front of Eastwood Collegiate. He was the kind of guy you thought was gonna be around forever, Troy Donner, 616 of Kitchener, said about Sims. It wasn't as much fun without him. He was one of a kind. He was full of energy. He was always the last one to bed and the first one up. The Sims and Donner family owned cottages on Georgian Bay, and Jason and Troy's brother, Mark, were the best of friends. Jason, accompanied by a chum from Waterdown, came to Kitchener Friday night to visit Mark. After an evening out, the three were likely heading home to Donner's place on Shelley Drive when the accident happened, Troy said. Mark Donner, 21, is in critical condition on life support systems in the intensive care unit at KW Hospital. Meanwhile, Don Cochran, 21, of Waterdown, who suffered broken legs, was in the recovery room following surgery at Toronto General Hospital. Roger Altman, the truck driver who suffered head and neck injuries, is in stable condition at KW Hospital. And I pray I never will have to repay them.